Hi! So this is the second week of using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Just a quick disclaimer, I do have the air conditioning going on right now, and if you've watched my other videos in the past, you might have heard the low hum. So I'm using the wind or noise reduction from the Mic Mini right now. So let me know if you hear anything at all. I would love to know if it's picking any of that up at all. But anyway, I'm making some changes to my Artist Alley booth. I'm trying to organize more of my stickers the way I showcase them, as well as enamel pins and my keychains. So I have been working since last week to create these. These are what you probably have already seen if you've been to anime conventions and stuff like that. These are templates that people put on their grid panels to help organize and separate one object or one product from the other. And I definitely feel like my stickers could use some organization in that way. Like I said before, I've mentioned in other videos, I kind of feel like my stickers are all over the place or they look a little cramped. So I'm taking this opportunity to try to create more space between them, which obviously is going to use up more grid panels, but I just want to see what that looks like. But right now I printed them all and I taped them in the back, so they are very Frankenstein-y right now, and I was going to take it to Staples this week to get them laminated, but being that they are 11 inches by 11 inches, it is an awkward size to laminate, and apparently Staples needed their special large laminating sheets, which would have cost me $5 per sheet to laminate, and I have 11 sheets because I have a lot of stickers. I have one enamel pin sheet and then 2 keychain sheets. So I didn't want to spend $5 per sheet because I don't need it to be super protected, because some of them I'm going to puncture, like the enamel pin and the keychain sheets, for example. So I just ended up getting these price signs laminated, 4 of these sheets. This is 2 by 4 inches, and then these are 4 by 6, so 2 4 by 6, and then 1 of these, and then I don't know how big this one is, but they all cost, with tax, about $5.17. I just never laminated something this big before, so it came as a surprise that it was going to cost me that much to laminate them. And in my opinion, I changed my booth layout, I feel so often, that spending $55 on these sheets to get them laminated and pretty is not worth it in my opinion. So what I ended up doing was buying self-adhesive laminating sheets on Amazon, about 3 to 4 mil thick. I don't really know what that means, so I'm gonna have to see how it feels when I actually take it out, but this is 8.7 inches by 12.2 inches, and there are 100 sheets. I think you can get this in smaller or lower quantities, like 20 sheets or 50 sheets, but I wasn't sure how much I was going to need. Plus, in the future, if I ever need more, I want to be able to have more and not just buy it all over again. Try to figure this out tonight because I have the Natsu Pop Con coming up on Saturday, and that's located in Montclair, New Jersey. It is the first time that they are having this event. It's going to be held at the Montclair Public Library. But anyway, I'm gonna try to get this laminated or whatever with the self-adhesive laminating sheets, and we shall see how this goes. Okay, so I have my first sheet here to test it with. I'm using the enamel pins sheet first, and this is one of the laminating films. Let me get my squeegee just in case. I don't know if this will require me squeegeeing it out, but it's not as flexible. I mean, it's thin, but it's not as flexible as the regular laminates that I have to apply to stickers and everything. So, but I don't want bubbles at the same time, so I'm just going to use it just in case. Okay, so I have one part done. Now I hope I'll be able to scrape the sides off and flip it over when I need to later. These are very staticky as well. Measure this a little bit. So I have to figure out which side I'm peeling, and then I make sure that it's underneath so that way I can expose the adhesive. I also want to make sure that there's a little bit of like the laminate hanging over the actual piece of paper, because I'd like to cut around it and not exactly at the border where the end of the paper is. Please get off my table. Okay, there we go. This is a little tricky because I'm trying to line up the adhesive parts. Okay, I got one corner. Oh no! Yay! I would say once you have the front and the back covered, it feels nice and sturdy. It keeps getting stuck on the other adhesive. Perfect! We did it! What I love about this method is that you don't have to have a laminating machine to get something laminated. It is cold laminating. It really feels like I'll be able to make use out of this for quite a while. I have like 10 more sheets to go, and I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm just gonna try to do this as fast as possible off camera. So here are the laminated sheets that I have so far. I think I have 5 sheets done so far. They're a little longer because I wanted to factor in the keychain attachment itself, and then this was the first one that I started out with, enamel pins, and they honestly look really great. There's no obvious overlapping of the laminates, which I was afraid would happen, and it's right here. I have to look really close to be able to see it. Keychains and the enamel pins, like I said, are going to have holes in them because I'm gonna puncture it, but I think it will help them kind of last longer because they're laminated, so at least the rest that don't have holes in them will stay intact. Hello again. It is now the next day. It's Friday, the day before Natsu Pop Con, and I just finished laminating all of these sheets. So I still need to trim around the edges because there's too much of the extra laminate at the tops and bottoms of each of these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hope that I can cut through them with my Cricut cutter here. Hopefully it does a good job. Hopefully it does a clean cut and not dull the blade too much, because now I'm cutting with multiple sheets in one, and that would greatly reduce the cutting time if I had to do it manually. So just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna start putting my stickers on here as well as the enamel pins. Let's hope I can get through this quickly. All right, so I am done cutting everything out and doing the corners as well. Thankfully, it did not take too long, and this is what it's supposed to look like on these pink panels. So I'm just gonna use the enamel pin one for example here. So there's a little bit of a lip around these areas where the metal part is, where it ends up being a little raised, and I did that on purpose so that it wouldn't like curl up, I guess, and it's only all on the flat part, and it won't get in the way of the connectors, the plastic connectors, whenever you have the panels. But the idea is I'm going to be putting Velcro behind all of these, and I bought this from Amazon. This is double rolls adhesive hook and loop. 1 inch wide, 30 feet long. So yeah, I'm gonna stick them on all 4 corners and then also stick them on all 4 corners of these pink panels. That way I can take them off if I need to. All right, so this is what the Velcro looks like when I take it out of the box. I'm not gonna be using a lot for these, probably just going to put 1 inch out per corner. I'm gonna cut 8 because I need 4 for the backs of these and then 4 to stick on these pink ones. I finished putting all of the Velcro on the backs of these templates, at least for my stickers, and I just started putting or transferring my die cut stickers onto these panels, so they end up looking like this. This is 1 through 9, and these I made specifically 3 by 3 instead of the one that I just showed you, which was 4 by 4, because this is for my smaller stickers. Nowadays I'm making 2.5 inch die cut stickers, and these ones that I made like way back then, many years ago, are 3 inches in size, so they need a little more space, a little more breathing room. And that was one thing that I wanted to solve when I was making these panels, was that I want more space for them so that they can breathe, and I think they look nicer now that they have that kind of space allotted to them. So that was 10 through 18, and this is 19 through 27. So now this is where I start seeing a mix of my old 3 inch stickers with my 2.5 inch stickers. Not all of these are 3 inches. But then once you get to numbers 28 to 43, this is where, ooh, I just like hit myself in the eye with that, but these are all 2.5 inch stickers, as you can see, and they are more like clustered together, but I feel like they are still pretty organized with the way they look, and I'm really happy because I was able to put nicer looking numbers on them. They look more presentable as opposed to the way I did it before, which is using scrap sticker paper or regular paper and then writing the numbers down with a Sharpie. So I'm not done with transferring all of the stickers yet onto these panels, and I'm gonna need a couple more extra panels because I decided to space out these guys, and instead of doing like 4 in a row and 4 columns as well. So definitely gonna use up at least like 2 or 3 extra pink panels. So I'm a little scared. It's like 9:13 and I haven't rehearsed my setup, so I probably need to get to the library early tomorrow to figure this out, because I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to like go over my table setup tonight. And also lastly, I still haven't like punctured or put holes in the keychains or the enamel pin. As you can see right here, this is the table. It's just a mess right now, and I'm going to be sticking my enamel pins and the keychain templates onto this foam board. I got this from Michael's, by the way. I think it was like $5 to $7 for this 20 by 30 inch foam board. I'm gonna stick these on this foam board before they even get transferred to these pink panels. So I had to ask my boyfriend to cut this out for me, and we were struggling with it. I guess you don't use a regular scissor to cut through the foam board, and you need this. But what he ended up doing was using this kind of like a giant X-Acto knife and kind of perforating the one side until he was able to kind of jiggle it out, at least parts of it, and then he ended up not using this all the way through. He got a clean steak knife to like saw through the rest, so that's why it looks a bit rough on the edges, but hopefully it will still look good, and hopefully people won't see how rough it looks here. Here's my full display of my enamel pins. So that wasn't as painful as I thought as I started doing it, and thankfully they're not budging. Last but not least, I have to work on my keychains. I already mounted this on the foam board. I want to have it hung up like this, but obviously not make it easy for people to just like grab it. So I bought these reusable zip ties. The brand is V Technology. I will put it in the description. I also got that from Amazon, but I think it's like a pack of 100. I'm going to poke 2 holes through each keychain compartment, whatever. And then I'm going to thread this through, and then I'm probably gonna hook it through the keychain and then tie it at the back. So let's try poking a hole like here. Other one is right there. I think they're both slanted. I poked it at the wrong angle, so kind of like a little X now. Let's see if I can even thread this here in the first place. Okay, I'm slowly threading it through, but it is struggling. Leave this in the other hole with the keychain attached, but it's going in. All right, it is almost 12 o'clock and I'm so tired. My eyes are like wanting to close and I can't really think straight, but I have it all done. I have this one, and then the other keychains one, which just has these 3 designs on it, but hopefully at some point I will have more for that, but I'm just trying to think of where to put everything right now, and I just hope I have everything restocked for tomorrow. And yeah, I'm gonna try to put everything away right now and get some sleep. For Natsu Pop Con, my boyfriend accompanied me, and thankfully Montclair is only 20 to 25 minutes away from where I live, so I was able to wake up a little later and not like at the crack of dawn. Definitely appreciate being able to do that because I stayed up so late the night before. But here my boyfriend and I were just kind of trying to figure out which pieces go together and how I want to display everything, because like I said before, I didn't get to plan everything at home and we were just kind of winging it here. But that's okay. I definitely had enough time to get everything ready, and I think I still had 10 or 15 minutes left to spare after this whole thing was put together. One thing that I really loved about Natsu Pop Con was that I had 2 of my friends on both sides of me. So Squishator was on my left and Leandra's was on my right. So I had plenty of people to talk to during the convention. Squishator was vending for the second time actually. Her first time vending was at Cyclone Con, which unfortunately was a bust. But I'm so glad that she was able to attend this one because it was so much better. So it is officially 11, well actually a minute after 11, and we just finished setting up maybe 10-15 minutes ago. It was a bit hectic because I didn't have time to rehearse yesterday. As I said last night, I was pretty tired after trying to put holes in all of the enamel pin and the keychain stuff. So we only kind of rehearsed or talked about the layout today. As far as like the majority of the stuff, it hasn't really changed. It's still 4 panels high and 6 panels wide. We have a 6-foot table here, but it's a lot more panels for my stickers. And yeah, I don't know, it just, not preparing the night before always leaves me frazzled and stuff, especially with all of the merchandise that I have to deal with here. But I'm just glad that we were able to do it before it hit 11 o'clock. And again, this is a new convention, so I don't really know or expect a high volume of traffic. No offense to the organizers, but yeah. So even if it hit 11 and I was still working, I would probably still feel okay about it. But yeah, I did a pretty good job, thanks to my boyfriend as well, because he's really good with organizing and figuring the layouts and stuff. And I am seated next to my friend, so that kind of helps with relieving a bit of tension and stress that I might have and feeling frazzled. So yeah, I'm gonna do a bit of walking around and I'll show you the artist alley. So after I finished setting my table up, I was helping my friend Squish a Tour with setting her table up. I showed her a picture of my new enamel pin, keychain, and sticker templates a few days ago while I was still working on it, and she really liked that idea, so she had also decided to do the same thing for her table. So I was just kind of there helping her organize everything and put the keychains on her grid panels. And considering this is the second time that she's vending at a market or convention, I think it looks pretty great. I'll just put my business card as well, just in case. Oh, perfect. Perfect change. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the sticky notes. Okay. We'll talk about it later. One thing I also love about attending in-person events is getting to meet new people. There's always a new artist that I am discovering, and it's always so fun to talk about like our shops and where we've been, and just being able to share information and talk about each other's artwork and how cool it is. Wait, do it again. Whether you're vending or you're an attendee at one of these conventions, you always have to be careful though, because there are so many talented artists and so many cool merch to buy that you have to pace yourself and make sure that you're not overspending. My boyfriend just got me these cute pins from the Crowned Rabbit. I hope it's focusing. But I got this, he got me this pigeon pin, and then this cockatiel pin, and then these pirate bunny sticker sheets inspired of One Piece, obviously.
It says arriving tomorrow.
They're so cute. The day when I forget my stamp rally card is the day when people come and they want to participate in the stamp rally. We are doing the bento box stamp rally as a continuation from Cyclone Con, because it was a flop during Cyclone Con, but it is successful today. I don't know how many people completed it, but I think at least 3 or 4 people. And it's just 1:04 p.m. right now. The anime convention opened up officially at 11. So, I mean, you know, that's in 2 hours. 3 to 4 people have already completed it. We only have a few cards because we didn't really restock from last time, but yeah, I just wasn't expecting anybody to really participate in this one. So, I mean, it's good, but also bad because I'm not prepared. So, Nevi. Nevi is the one that is handing out the rewards. So that's why we are going to ask how well we did. Yeah, there were like at least, I don't know, 6 to 10 people completing the stamp rally. And I think people are still in the works of completing this, the stamp rally. So that was really cool.
I think last time we only gave out 2, so.
Oh my God, that's really sad. Okay. I mean, for this being like a smaller artist alley, I think we're doing pretty good.
It's the first year.
Yes, that's true. Let's hope that next year will be like better or the same.
We have a little thank you goodie bag.
Thank
for
you so much. This is so nice. I appreciate it. How nice is this? They literally gave us a little goodie bag with a cute little notebook and 2 pens and 1 pin. So it is about 4:20 now, and we are just going to start packing up. I think I don't know if anybody else is going to be shopping, but today was a great success. We were able to get a lot of people to participate in the stamp rally, maybe like 8 to 10 people. I consider that a success, and in comparison to Philly Otaku Fest, which was like over a period of 3 days, and there were a lot more people walking around. We only like gave away like 3 to 5 there versus here, which was a lot greater. And clearly it's like a smaller event with less people, but it was a great success. So I'm very, very happy with it. And yeah, I got some goodies, although I didn't, go overboard and spend too much. But yeah, going to pack up and then go home and rest. So now I am home and I'm just gathering some of the stuff that I got from the Artist Alley at Natsu Pop Con, some of which are these gifts from my boyfriend. He got this adorable pigeon enamel pin and this really cute cockatiel enamel pin from the Crowned Rabbit. So I am holding the pigeon pin in my hands right now. I think she's going to be scared because I have this black camera in my hand in addition to this pin, but let's see how she reacts. Hi, Earl. Hey, Mama. How you doing? Look what I have. Oh, she's a little uncertain about it. Overall, my thoughts about Natsu Pop Con are very positive. Like I said before, I wasn't really expecting there to be much of a turnout for Natsu Pop Con, given that it is their first time hosting something like this at the Montclair Public Library. So there were a lot more people that attended than I thought, and as a result of that, I made more money than I thought as well. It was a great opportunity for me to be able to test out those new panels that I have been making, and I got to see what worked and what didn't work, and I'm glad that I was able to do it this weekend for Natsu Pop Con, so that it's kind of like a practice run for next week when I go to Teco in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I recommend Natsu Pop Con, especially if you are a first timer or you're still relatively new with vending in the Artist Alley and you kind of want to start small. If you are in New Jersey or close to the Montclair area and are able to commute without really breaking the bank, then I do suggest you try to apply to this one next year. I do hope they have it again next year. The organizers were really kind and caring. They gave us goodie bags as a thank you for attending the first event. They just were really kind and enthusiastic about this event and seemed like they really did care about making it a success. And I felt that when I was there. So I'm really glad that I was able to attend as a vendor during their first event. And yeah, I just hope to see small events like this in New Jersey grow to something even bigger and better in the future. So give it a 2 thumbs up. But yeah, this is where I'm going to end my video for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be going away to Techo next week. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!